All right, YouTube, it says I'm live. This is a quick live stream that I wasn't planning on doing. Um, got some information from a channel. If you haven't heard of Blazing Press, I highly recommend that you subscribe to that channel. But this video, real quick, is going to be talking about some well-known doctors throughout the country and probably other areas that are talking about actually how dangerous that this virus truly is and how it's growing stronger. Brother Mitchell in the house. Yo, Tina Richards in the house. Richardson, sorry, in the house. What I want to do is play the Hillbilly 420. Sup, brother? What's up? Callie Kibo. I probably said that wrong. Renee. Hello, Justin. Um, Real quick, if you haven't heard, Vance, thank you. I want to play what I heard on. This isn't fear mongering. This isn't fear porn. Like the old saying, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Sister Danielle Agajania in the house. I'm going to play what these doctors, well known doctors, and I don't think they would put their MD license on the line to go public via the internet and more. Um, so I'm just going to just put it up to my microphone and Marley Trotter, good to see you. I've never heard you before. I'm not going to say anything to hurt your feelings, but Marley, that's our dog's name. He's a beautiful dog. Survival Vern just sent me something. Watch. Doctors arrested for revealing the truth. Just got that text right now. So I'll wait till a couple more people come in. Almost Black. Hi, everyone. Thanks. Locked and Loaded. Sunny. Also, Emergency Management. Oh, I hate this chat. Associates with Ron Tyler and Doug Hagman interview with Steve Quayle yesterday. I haven't seen that, but I love Steve Hagman and Steve Quayle. Actually, I mean they're extremely smart. Vern, do you want to come up real quick? I seen in the chat. I sent you a message. Didn't go through, but I just saw this. I wanted to hurry up and hop on real quick. You moved the boxes. Looks good. It wasn't me. That was my wife. That's what it used to look like, but we used to have a whole bunch of different. I've got "Don't Tread on Me" flags and stuff like that. Vern, do you want to come up? Yay or nay? Because it's going to be quick. What I want to do is hit play. I want you all to hear what these doctors that are very well known in the medical field, etc. They took a leap of faith to basically make these videos to put across the internet, etc. So, all right, send me the link. I think it's very important. So I'm sending Vern the link right now. Vern, when I'm playing the video, I'm not going to show the video. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Well, I don't even really care, but I want everybody to hear the seriousness of this. Basically, the information that they're given is that if it's true, the statistics, etc., will be worse than the Spanish flu. And a lot of people need to realize back when the Spanish flu happened, the population was way less. Air travel it was all by train, etc., and it spread worldwide. Now we have trains, planes, automobiles, like the old movie, etc. So, real quick, I'll wait till a couple more people get into the chat. I'll wait till Vern gets in. Here comes Vern right now. Click on. There's Vern Prep and Survival. Now,
Getting the phone plugged in.
Right. I'm going to play this all the way through. It's short, but these are actual. Like I said, doctors that hold a higher standard when it comes to, these are doctors that go to the White House. These are doctors that write books. You know what I mean? And those are the ones that would prefer to not put panic in the hearts of Americans or anybody across the world. And they wake up. See you. Much love, Ms. Mary, everybody. What I'll do is I'll play this and then I will discuss it with you all. And Brother Vern, you got your cigarettes, right, Vern?
Yep. Made it back just in time for the downpour as I was putting my bike under the shelter.
All right, you got lucky. So if y'all have time, listen to what these doctors are saying. I got this off of Blazing Press, and I'm just going to do old school because I don't have the technology, nor do I have Denise, Justin, please pray. I feel a bit unwell. God bless you. We'll definitely pray for you. There's a lot of people that are actually feeling unwell. Even, Crystal Gypsy going back to the hospital, and I believe two of her grandsons or nieces are sick as well with the flu, but they've already ruled out. Old school is best. Bipolar American mix. Good to see you. Never heard of you. Never seen you. Anybody's welcome here. But let me play this real quick. And let me know. Give me a thumbs up, Vern, if you can hear it well. I know you're reading the chat, but I do not want you to cut me off on this one.
Oh, no, I won't.
I want everybody. I have no problem when you do, but I want everybody to hear what these doctors are saying. These are, very important.
Make sure I got everything set up here.
All right. That's Blazing Press.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right. Here we go. Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity. I'm here with the most important update out of all of the coronavirus series that we've done so far. It's January 31st, 2020, and I've just come across a study that puts the R naught of the coronavirus at over 4. Well, let's call it 4. Anything in that zone is just going to be absolutely unbelievably hard to stop, impossible to stop, I would say. Listen, this is data that I'm not here to try and make you fearful. I'm not trying to whoop up any panic or all these things that I'm sometimes accused of. What I'm trying to do is bring you the information that you need, because this is information that you have to begin to plan around. This is information that's changing how I'm responding to things and the kinds of preparations I'm undertaking, and you need to have it as well. So that's my commitment to you, is to bring you the data. I have to caution everybody, this is early data. This may well change. This is not a peer-reviewed study, but it is a study. This is the kind of information that we have to go with during a fast-moving pandemic like this. I wish we were getting this data from a bunch of reliable sources out there. We're getting this from the only source that we can at this point in time, so I'm bringing it to you. And again, with all the caution that this is a study, it's not peer-reviewed, and it may well change as we go forward. Good morning, everyone. Chris Martinson, 9 o'clock in the morning on January 31st, 2020. And I've come across this research paper out of China using modeled data and actual data out of the clinical settings to estimate that the R naught for the coronavirus is 4.08. And it's not that precise. Of course, it's got a mean estimate around it, a standard deviation, but that's the mean estimate right there, 4.08. And if that's true, this has enormous implications. And again, I want to caution us that this is just early data. This is likely to change, but with an R naught like this, it's a very, very serious situation, and you need to know about it. So let's go into it. First, can we trust this? This has been posted in MedRxiv, which I showed you some research that came out of there. yesterday in yesterday's update. And as well, we need to understand that this is not peer reviewed. This data has to come out really, really fast. And we just need to be aware that it is not peer reviewed. So take all of this with a little bit of a grain of salt. But again, this is the best we've got in a fast moving situation. First, the article summary line. This modeling study indicates that 2019 nCoV has a higher effective reproduction number than SARS with a comparable fatality rate. That makes it much worse. Here is the actual URL. If you want to chase that down for yourself, I can make that available. So can we trust this study? Who's in here? The authors here, Zhidong Cao, these other folks here, they represent the Chinese Academy of Sciences Institute of Automation. That's for Zhidong Cao there. University of Chinese Academies of Sciences, again, this individual. The Shenzhen Artificial Intelligence and Data Sciences Institute, City University of Hong Kong. So we've got somebody from Hong Kong in there, a couple folks actually. National University of Defense Technology and Peking University, and the Chinese People's Liberation Army Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So this kind of looks legit. And if we go further, I did an author search on this person who's the lead author, and we find that they've been doing public health sort of modeling. They've been modeling influenza infections and vaccinations for a while. They've been doing this stuff. So we've got stuff here from March 2010. So it looks like these people are have the statistical chops. And if this isn't just a completely fake paper somebody posted for amusement, which I don't believe it is, I think we can go forward and look at this study and see what it's going to tell us. All right. Again, not peer reviewed, but we're going to have to go with what we've got. In this study, the abstract here is we estimate the effective reproduction number for 2019 nCoV based on the daily reported cases from China CDC. So again, I think the daily reported cases are low. So this is one potential, not flaw, but it's a limitation of the study. They are using daily reported cases from the China CDC, which we've all had access to as well. I think those are low, very low possibly. But even that, with that, the results indicate that 2019 nCoV has a higher effective reproduction number than SARS with a comparable fatality rate. So let's step through this data really quick. Look, they've done some stuff here. I promised you.
All right, I gotta cut. You gotta go, Mark Knife. You're a smart ass. Go see it for yourself. I don't believe it. This and that. Normally, I don't block people like that, but you have nothing. But you're capitalizing. You're screaming this and that. These are actual doctors that are reading statistics, etc. If you don't believe it, then guess what? You go to Chinatown. You fly over to China. You go to wherever you go. Fly and see if you can land on that boat, Spain, with 700 or 7,000 people are. But don't come on here on the chat and start blasting capital letters and basically calling us all of us stupid liars, this and that, blah blah. So I hate to do this, but adios, kick rocks, and God bless. Bam, you're gone. All right, let me finish this.
Couldn't be math. Looks like there is some math. I'm putting this up here in case anybody can confirm or refute it. I am not at all an expert in this kind of modeling, and I don't understand all of these pieces in here because I haven't done this sort of modeling. But there's some pieces in here I think we can all sort of understand, which is important. They have some variables in here that you need to know about. L being the average latent period. That's the period that in between when you are being exposed and when you are actually out there being infective. There's a length of the average infectious period, so they're taking that into account. There's the logarithmic growth rate of the case counts as reported. So that's a given. That's an input variable. And so this is just how what the model was and how it was put together. But I think they've got all the big pieces in there. Looks good. So far, so good. All right. Okay. This is where we have to really strap ourselves down into our seats so we don't go flying off into outer space. Using the data described above, R is estimated to be 4 0.08, indicating that an infected patient infects more than 4 susceptible people during the outbreak. So this is huge. If this is true, this is absolutely enormous news. And it means that this thing is absolutely uncontainable. It means that what the WHO did yesterday, and by the way, this came out on the 29th, so the WHO has access to this sort of information, and they decided, you know what, we're not going to block travel, we're not going to block trade because, well, we would like the stock market to continue to go up, and we wouldn't want people to panic, or whatever their story is. But what they're really saying is we don't want people to be prepared for this. They've made some sort of a cost calculation and said, you know, the benefit of letting people know about this versus the economic harm that would result from that versus not letting people know about this and just letting this thing sort of burn through and burn itself out, we're going to go with option B in this story. That's the only way I can interpret what they did at this point in time. So again, we've been using things like an R naught of 2.5. You know, it's really even higher than a recent estimate of 3.6 in 4.0. So that's another study that they're citing here on citation 8. So this means that compared against the 2003 SARS epidemic, the R of this new coronavirus, novel coronavirus, is higher than that of SARS in the places where it was measured and used, calculated using the same method. So they did some sensitivity analyses. You know, they varied the values of the latency and D. That means the resulting mean of our estimates is 4.08 with a standard deviation of 0.36. So it could be somewhere between those two numbers right there, 95% confident. That's what a CI confident interval, given these things. Now, again, this is early data. This could all change. You know, but we're just giving you the best information that we've got. This is the best information I've come across. So what does that mean to have an R naught of 4.08? So I've cleaned up this table a little bit. You're going to see slightly different numbers because I thought of a better way to improve this to make it just a little bit easier to understand. So here we have
huge point with Crystal Gypsy. CDCS website will have almost the exact same number 5, and then Pete the Patriot talks about the stock market down 647 points right now, which is huge, and that's what we've talked about in other videos. Basically, we don't like the big giant China or whatever, but when it comes to their stock market, when it comes to, you know, we're facing a biological warfare, or even if you don't believe it's biological, a pandemic. But what we're really facing is a economical crash. There will not be any Dollar Tree stores. There will not be, you know, Dollar General prices are going to go through the roof. The price of food is going to go through the roof. So if you believe in even if you don't believe in biblical times that we're living in, you have to read between the lines and see that this is reality. So I'm going to continue with this. Good points, everybody.
have a variety of R naughts down here that span from 1 to 4. And each one of those cycles, a cycle is when we start here with an R naught of 1, one person has it, and they give it to one other person, and they give it to one other person. With an R naught of 1.28, which is the average infectivity R naught of the standard or common seasonal flu virus, one person starts with it, and on average, they progress it to 1.28 other individuals, who, when we multiply that number by 1.28, they give it to 1.64. I'm now rounding numbers, but after 10 cycles of infectivity, the common average flu is up to infecting 9 people. And after 20 cycles, or hops from person to person, after 20 full cycles, 109 people have been infected by that original first person, with total infections, which would be the sum of this row, of 494. And obviously the total sum of 20 cycles through an R naught of 1 is just 20. So when we go to an R naught of 2, we can see that after just 10 cycles instead of 9, we now have 512 people have gone out and been infected. After 20 cycles, you have this crazy 500,000 number here, 524,288, with total infections of a little over 1 million. And SARS was thought to be around 3, it has this 3, which gives you these crazy numbers out here, but with an R naught of 4. What does that mean? It means that after just 10 cycles, we are at 262,144, which again, when CNN and the media is telling you that, oh, this is just like the regular flu, they are trying to convince you that it's comparable to compare a value of 9 infected people out there to 262,000 infected people. And obviously, by the time you get to 20 cycles through this, that's 274 billion. That's way more. It's only 7.8 billion people on the face of the planet. So this gets crazy. An R naught is a crazy, crazy, insane number. And why does that matter? Well, let's look. We just found out that Japan now has 17 confirmed coronavirus cases. We talked yesterday that there was a bus driver who got this coronavirus from a traveling group of people who came from Wuhan. This is a bus driver with an R naught of 4. It's an almost virtual guarantee that they then spread it if they were still on the job during the infectious days, driving people around, coughing into the air, and doing all of that. And here's why it matters so much, because if we said that this bus driver, if you managed to catch them when they had just gone through one infective cycle, all you have to do is hunt down 4 people, isolate them. You can contain this virus. But if you miss it for a little while, well, now you've got 1,000 people to hunt down. That gets hard, if not impossible. Miss just one more cycle, and now you've got 4,000 people you got to go out and find, and that becomes truly impossible. So that's why it's really important to catch these things early, catch them often. Don't let them get started. That's why proactive is way better than reactive. The WHO has come out and said we're going to be reactive, and that's no good. All right, continuing on here. There were some interesting things that they came up with here. So they also were able to predict the future outbreak profile. They developed a model based on deterministic, susceptible, exposed, infectious, recovered, death, cumulative, some fancy statistical term. But really what we're trying to get to here is, well, what's the case fatality rate? So they're modeling it here, given some things that the CIRDC model estimates the fatality rate of 6.5%. And as a base comparison, the fatality rate for the 2003 SARS was 7.66 and 3.61% for Beijing and Guangzhou, respectively. So that 6.5% case fatality rate, that's huge. That's really, really enormous. That would be extraordinarily devastating. So there's some good news in this study, though, and this again speaks to needing to be proactive rather than reactive, because their study suggests that by reducing the average infectious period to 2.3 days or less, the resulting R will decrease to a value of less than 1, meaning the epidemic can be effectively controlled. Now, let me decode that. How would you reduce the average infectious period? You obviously can't change the dynamic of the virus, but that would mean that the time that people are out there spreading the disease, if you can just keep that under 2.3 days. So no bus drivers in an asymptomatic or worse, a symptomatic phase out there shedding viruses into the world. You can't do that. You've got to stop people from interacting with each other, which means that if you can bring the mean or average infectious period to under 2.3 days, this can be controlled. This explains the empty streets that we're seeing in Wuhan, Shanghai, Beijing, all the other places that China has gone into a complete lockdown, because they have this information and they know that the only way to prevent this from spreading, the only way you can get this pandemic under control is you got to go into a lockdown. You've got to prevent people from having social contact. So this street is just a metaphor for all the things that aren't happening in a society. No Super Bowl gatherings, no giant festivals, no schools. All sorts of schools have shut down across China at this point in time, because what they're trying to do is to get that average infectious period down to a controllable place. So the thing I need you to be aware of, wherever you live, you need to understand that this is probably now coming to a place where you live. And so I need you to begin to ask yourself, how does your life change when you go into lockdown for a period of time. And I don't know how long that lockdown would be. We don't have enough data for that yet. Is it a couple of weeks? Is it a couple of months? We don't know that yet. But this is how you control a pandemic like this, which means you need to be prepared for empty shelves. This is already happening all across those affected places. And of course it is. If you don't have food trucks running, shelves go empty. That's just how that works. And the other thing you have to be prepared for then, it means you have to be prepared to treat at home. So most of the people who come down with us, even with its scary infectious rates, even with its high case fatality rates and all of that, most people get through it just fine. In fact, the younger you are, the better off you're going to be in this story. So you want to be prepared to treat at home. And so you need to talk through what are the things you need, everything from sleepy time tea, thermometers, of course, aspirators and Excedrin and all this usual stuff, right? Clorox wipes. You just need to be ready to treat at home. And so we've got a bunch of things at Peak Prosperity about what you would need to do to get prepared for this, but this are not. And again, let me say that this is just a study. It's not peer reviewed. It could totally be wrong. I don't know, but it's the best information I've got. I don't have any other direct modeling data. If the CDC or the WHO wanted to come out and put out different models and put their data out there like these people did and show what all of their assumptions were and put it out there. Okay, so that's the gist of what he's saying. Now we've got the...
All right, well, there's more information on that, but I wanted to put that out there. These are actually, like I said, legit doctors, scientists, etc., that have come up with 4.8 is absolutely huge. Even if they're over exaggerating and it's only a 3.8, that's humongous. So a lot of people that keep saying this is BS, this is scare tactics, etc. Well, once again, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Wake Up says, well, better buy. That's exactly. Now is the time to go and start buying, like we've talked about, Vern and I, food. You know, it doesn't have to be expensive food, enough to keep you alive if there comes a point that just say it comes over here and it's an epidemic or pandemic, like they're saying, and Trump declares martial law or certain states, you know, you got to have food. And it's not like it's a long term, like we're going to be in a house for a year if this pandemic comes through. But even like I said, Vern, we talked about on the last live stream, it's not the healthiest, but if you don't have enough money, get you a whole buttload of ramen noodles and water and stuff that you can cook on, you know, just to, you'll get your sodium, etc. You'll get your calories. I mean, don't eat ramen noodles, you know, and like the beans and stuff that Vern talks about that we have in our long-term food storage. And then somebody talked on the last live stream, which I didn't know. We have a ton of this. My wife has in the condensed milk.
That was Crystal Gypsy who brought it up that she's getting it. She has it for the babies.
Right. So, okay, it was Crystal. So the calorie intake is 10 milligrams per servings. So in this little can right here, there's 10 servings. That's a lot of calories, and that's what your body needs to survive. You need protein, etc. You need to keep well hydrated. Now, Pedialyte's very expensive, but the electrolytes that you will need. But if you're staying in your home, we're firm believers of guns here. What about our guns? Keep your guns, keep them locked and loaded. Absolutely. And if somebody comes trying to kick in your door, you shoot them in the face. But that's just my opinion. But peanut butter, if you can find the cheap peanut butter, don't get what do you call it? Peter Pan peanut butter or whatever. Get cheap peanut butter. That's high in calories. That's high in there you go. There's Burns whack you upside the head. You come near my face. If you cough in my face, I will hit you in the throat with show them again. Your
My little baseball bat.
I think you should change it to the coronavirus strike you in the throat if you sneeze on me bat. But laugh out loud. Love your opinion, Ladybug. That's how we roll here. We're open and honest, and this is not a joke. This is not fear mongering, etc. Once again, we've said before, China would not jeopardize their economy. They're slowly starting to come out with numbers, but there are people that are way ahead of this, way smarter, and they're doing. These are actual famous, not famous, but well. What's what I'm looking for in the medical field? They are
well-respected doctors.
Thank you. Well respected, and for them to go out and make videos to be shared is they made these videos today.
While you were playing that, I took notes of what a couple people had to say.
I saw the pin in my face. If I could reach through here and punch in the face, I would have, but no, just kidding. Yeah,
mowing the hose, amount of food, no less than a month. No less than a month.
Right.
The 33 in Florida, they have been cleared. The headline on that news article that most people ain't reading the article. Actually, they admitted they put the headline wrong. The 30 students and 3 teachers have been cleared. It has been traced to a Chinese student that went to the meeting at Yale College with them. The Chinese student was tested positive. The 33, which are the 30 students and 3 teachers, have been given the all clear from the CDC. They're allowed to go back to school and back to the campus. Ladybug, the ones you're talking about, we call them carriers. They will not show signs. They will not get sick from it. They are called carriers.
No fever.
Sunny, buses and public transportation, yes, they are the worst place to get germs, viruses, the flu. Public transportation, the filters are not cleaned daily, exactly like you said. They are not gone through and disinfected daily. So, yes, that is an absolute truth that buses and public transportation are the worst places.
Well, what did I just see? Absolutely. Like I talked about airplanes. A Wake Up says exactly no way would China crash their own economy. They could even censor the state-run news. Yeah, and right now that's exactly what's happening. Pete, the Patriot, came in and said that the Dow was down 630 some points, which a lot of people that don't know anything about the market, that's pretty huge. Even though Trump brought us up over to 26,000. Vern, it's hard to even talk to you, dude. I gotta cover your face. He's always smiling.
I'm listening.
I'm talking to you. But,
I know Trump came out with his thing.
I'm teasing with you. That's what
the Dow is down 600 and some points.
Well, when the economy crashes, silver and gold and precious metals go up. And Don Morning just said gold is up to $1,586 an ounce. I always like to watch the value of the dollar. As the value of the dollar drops, gold and silver goes up. That's a good way to know exactly how the market's riding here and there. We're not going to talk about the funk. Oh, I thought you called me punk. If you are, maybe.
No, he was putting that F-bomb in polite words.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. See, yeah. You read better than I do when it comes to that side. Jeep Gene, I'm a strong believer that this is definitely a bio weapon all the way, etc. Hey, Biblical Ways News. Can I join the StreamYard? I'm about to jump off here. I just wanted to hurry up and hop on and play that so everybody could hear it, to know the severity, how quick that, once again, I'll repeat myself, which I do a lot, that these well respected, like Vern said, doctors in the medical field actually took the time to make these videos. That's humongous. 4.8 is huge. 3.0 is huge. And
Yep.
I kept seeing somebody a couple streams ago saying, "Oh, it's less than 2.0." I'm like, "No, it's higher than that." Well, that just goes to validate. But they even said that the numbers can change. But guess what? The numbers can change and skyrocket, or they could just level out. So if you just got into the stream, please, when it uploads, go back and then listen to. Thank God. God bless. Blazing Press. I watched his live stream, and I had to take some of that information from his live stream so we could go ahead and share it with you, brothers and sisters in Christ, sub/friends, believers, non-believers. But it doesn't even matter if you're a believer or non-believer. This pandemic can and will kill you if you are not safe and protecting yourself. And I honestly think save your money on the mask if you have a certain amount, but it's time to focus on the food. Don't blow all your money on these masks and then starve to death when you're locked up in your house for a month. We don't know what the water is going to be like. I have to tell you something nice, locked and loaded, biblical news. Let me bring you on real quick, and then I have got to run.
And while you bring him up, I want to show people something. Remember how I was
Yeah, go
talking
ahead.
about spider plants for producing oxygen? See how small this one is? This one was the same size when I got it. I put it in the plant pot, and that's how fast these grow. And I actually went and got myself 4 nice sized little babies off a plant. And that one there is the same age as these other 2 that I haven't put in dirt yet. So if you want to get plants to do the oxygen thing, if you're planning on bugging in, get a plant that will grow fast.
Did you?
I just want to show that.
I was listening, or not listening. I was trying to find, for some reason, Biblical Ways News. His email's not saving in the stream like yours and everybody else does. So, all right, I sent it to. Now you were talking about the plants. Were you talking about like if you were to lock yourself in, if
Yep.
Quarantine yourself? Now, do you recommend? I don't mean to cut you off, but do you recommend like duct taping the seams of your windows, etc., like that? Or I mean, I don't think you're going to have people looking in your window, hacking and coughing.
Well, in a case like that, if you're worried about that, yeah, you can do it. But just like with me, someone knocks at the door, I can look through my glass door and talk to them. I don't have to let them in. If they cough, you know what I mean?
Right.
I can use my doors and stuff as a barricade.
Real quick, I want to report on something too. If you don't have the Red Alert app, what's going on in Israel? There's a lot of rocket attacks that are hitting Israel when they talk about the peace plan, peace and sudden destruction. Now, is this the reason why? I don't know, but I just wanted to throw that in real quick. And if it continues to get worse, we will talk about that in the future, the very near future. But yeah, quite a bit of rocket attacks currently going over to Israel from, I'm assuming, Palestine, the Palestinians, Hamas, a lot of Iranian-backed militia, etc. So, okay, Biblical Way News is in here real quick. He wants to say hey to everybody, and then we got to go.
I'm actually reading the
The
Agenda
agenda?
21.
Oh, it's addicting. What have you learned so far from Agenda 21?
I still don't understand a lot of it. There's a lot of difficult words, but I'm just reading it.
Well, I'm proud of you for reading it because 300.
And I'm live streaming it.
You're live streaming as well?
Yes.
See, I don't get notifications for other people's channels. Drives me nuts. So as soon as I hop off here, if you want, go
I'm
over
still
to go to Biblical Ways News and click on his live stream.
and help me and support me. because
Yeah,
it's very difficult.
help and support him emotionally, spiritually, etc. He's we gave him some homework, Brother Vern and I, to learn about Agenda 21. And I mean, there's a lot that you could skip through, but or you can go somewhere else and just hit Agenda 21 depopulation. There's other ways you don't have to read the 300 and some pages.
I am going
Yeah,
to read it. I'm not giving up.
Oh, see, I love that.
there's-
Great
There's
attitude.
a lot of videos that actually lay out the plan right for you, and
David
they
Icke.
do it without all the hebo-jibo big words.
Well, I like what he said. I'm not giving up. I'm going to read it all. But if you do give up, like Vern said, look up David Icke. Even though a lot of people think David Icke is a whack job, this and that, he nails Agenda 21. So, anyways,
I
that's the
can
time
already see that. I can already see that the Agenda 21 is at the place where I'm living.
Oh, really?
Farum. Yes, yes. I just found this article in Denmark. Farum, which is the local my place where I live is Farum, but then it controls the local area. Those cities.
Correct. Right.
Farum Agenda 21.
Really?
Welcome to the Environment Socialist Farum Agenda 21. We work for better environment in Farum Agenda 21. 21 did in daily speech in the local environment institution in Farum. I can send you a link to it if you want.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, send me a link. But that's
Yes, but
that's a little close to home, huh?
yes, I didn't thought that it was in Denmark, but
Ladybug says, "Hey, brother."
or I will just send it to the chat. But you have to have translator to translate it to English.
Right. Cindy Hopkins, God bless you. Vern, thank you for sharing. ML.
I just sent the chat if anyone wants to look, but you have to translate it to English English if you want to understand it.
Right. If you're not subscribed to Little Smiley Biblical Ways News, click on his picture right there in the chat and subscribe. And he's going to be going as soon as we hop off here. You're going to go. Are you live now, or are you going to go live?
Yes. I am loud. They can probably hear you. I think I'm not right. I'm not.
Well, cool. So you're live right now, and you're doing your research on Agenda 21.
Yes, and I think I've accidentally closed the episode.
I wish I was as happy as you, brother. But
I think I've accidentally closed the Agenda 21 link, so I have to go back in my stream and look where I came to.
Well, basically, what you're saying is your township is like what we call in the United States a county, okay? Because you have a whole bunch of cities. So you're talking about your township.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, you can look. I have sent a link. I just put it. I can send it also an email if you want, and you just need. I'm gonna video about that also.
Yeah, do the video. Smiley, it was great seeing you. Come up anytime. I wanted to make a quick video. It's gone a little bit longer, and once again, pray for Israel if you're not anti-Semitic.
And what was about those plants he talked? What was about those plants he talked?
Well, Vern talks about like the spider plants and other plants. Even if you don't live, like if you live in the north, etc., and you have to quarantine yourself in your home, the best thing to do is get plants because plants like carbon dioxide. If you get in trouble,
I have some plants here, some two aloes and.
Oh, that's a spider plant.
That's a spider plant right there.
Spider plant.
Yes. Yes. How do I just make it so it can multiply?
Just go like this and hold it under your nose and breathe.
No, they multiply on their own. You'll see instead of the leaves coming up, you'll see what looks like sticks coming up and out. And then you'll see babies coming off the branches.
Right.
Take them little babies, clip them off, put them in water, take them from the water when you start to see roots, put them in soil, and boom, another plant.
Bada boom, bada.
And what season do they make babies?
Year round inside.
All right, I lost volume.
Spring break. They get drunk and they have babies. Spider
Yes.
Plant. All right, I gotta go for real.
What about
Hey, Vern, he said, what season do they have babies?
yes?
Vern, find
I
your
can't hear
volume
you.
button. Find your volume button.
Me?
Volume. No, Vern, he can't hear us. All right.
Hello.
No, Vern can't hear us.
Hello. What? Wait. What happened? What is going on?
Nobody can hear me. All right, gotta go. Peace.